And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Combat Club. Because in this first time, because right now we're doing like a different things right now, because this is like the first time we're gonna do it on vertical video. So it's just like an experiment right now, but it has to be like working it out for these days right now. But I know it's some of those streams right now we're gonna working out together between the vertical or horizontal, but right now we're gonna do it at the big right now. So right now I just wanted to tell you thanks for all the love, for all the exciting news, and of course for the love in the chat during for the first 10 episodes. And right now this is the episode number 11 of the Combat Club. I love my co-host Science Zenith. We just run the best of the best of the MMA, wrestling, boxing, everything, every week, anyone, everywhere, anywhere, because right now it is time to the fight. So right now we're gonna to review about for the UFC 301, which is in Rio de Janeiro, which is they got the best of the best. So they're not gonna surprise us, but also there's like upsets and favoritism. So right now, let's give it a round of applause and welcome to Science Ed, my co-host to the Combat Club. So how you feeling about for the UFC 301 in Rio de Janeiro? Because right now Brazilian got the enormous power right now. So how you feeling?
I feel great. It is gonna be a shorter episode this week, guys. But like Rafael said, we were trying out a new landscape. So if you guys are watching on mobile, you guys might love this landscape a whole lot better for all you mobile users. If you guys watching on the internet, I know it might not look as good. But yeah, we have a pay-per-view to review UFC 301. To be honest, it was kind of lame, but we had its moments, and I liked it. I liked it. I know some hardcore MMA fans didn't like it, but I don't think you can ever get something wrong when you go to a country like Brazil. Brazil is such a special place, and it holds such an important meaning in the world of mixed martial arts that I don't feel that, even though a lot of people said, oh, it wasn't the best, that's because they're spoiled. They're coming off of UFC 300. I mean, like, come on, guys. We went from UFC 300 to UFC. I mean, like, obviously, it's not going to hit the same levels as 300 hit. But that being said, though, we just want to thank all of you guys for being here. What's up, Daniel? What's up, Ray? And let's get it going. Another episode of the Combat Club. And as he says, Raiders. As a Raiders fan, let's get it.
Yeah, that's my team right now because I'm a Raiders fan and he's a Giants fan. But hey, we can agree about for the football right now. But there's one thing that we can all agree about this. So we're fans of MMA, wrestling. I mean, I cannot tell it about this. So right now, let's continue with the first topic that we're talking about for the UFC 300. I mean, honestly, Brazil, they just got the great buy, but it didn't fit like a lot of persons to fit on the area.
Pause. Time out. I see what you did here. You set it up so it looks clean on Twitter. I see that. I see what you did. Yeah, actually, I just want to say, if you didn't know, it looks clean. If you go on your Twitter, which I'm on right now, it actually looks clean because it's full screen with just your face and just my face. But I'm going to let you continue. But before I do, we got to give a massive salute out to Tudo, always showing love from overseas. So shout out to Tudo. Let's get it. Back over to you, Rafael.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, that was just like a dead crowd right now, but I just really probably one of those examples of those fights can really involve right now. But I think it's gonna be like after that, there could be like no more cars in Brazil because Kevin treat like chance with respect. I mean, I know the Brazil they got the best of the best fighters, but I think for the crowd it looks like very sleep right now. But they're just like how interesting about it is like because all the people is going to be good, but it's not going to be good at all. But at some point right now, it's going to be like it's so happening right now. But
Will's in the building. Salute to you, brother. Sorry to interrupt, Rafael.
All right, salute to Wills, also to I just wanted to say hello to the chat. Hello, fellas. Watch out for Robert is to Spain on Saturday night. That was very great.
Absolutely.
And I gotta tell you for this one.
Make sure you
And
guys
I
go
gotta
check
tell you,
out Will's too, because he's pretty hardcore in the world of MMA the combat club every Thursday, where you got leather to the face with homie Lou and homie G Nation. Lou every Saturday. So you guys make sure you guys go check out his channel. I'll try to do a favor and drop it in the description. I don't know if you're a mod yet, Wills. If you are, you can drop your own channel, but I'll try to find it real fast. But absolutely, what
oh
a wonderful
yes,
light, and thank you guys all for being here.
yes, and I gotta tell you, big shout out to Wells to NYG because he just brought like a great breakdown of the UFC fight night between Nascimento versus Lewis. And I gotta tell you, do not sleep on those fight nights on Saturday because who knows? Because it's gonna be like a great important breakdown of those fighters, those rookies or veterans coming out at big at the UFC. But I gotta tell you for this one. Between for the fight between Steve Ursek versus Alessandro Pantoja.
Starting at the top, I love it.
Yep. I gotta tell you, Pantoja has been like a too crafty, greedy, got an iron chin. He might be not like the best skill, but he got doing enough to stay at the top. But Ursek just like the second best in that division. But I think that a time will come. But I hate that when it comes to people going to Pantoja's favoritism because right now I think Stu Ursek deserved like a lot of things, and that's what it because of like has successfully priced out for the working class Brazilian who have the real fans right now. But I just want it because they just keep going and going. But I just really thought that Ursek
That's not
deserved
bad.
like a great shot. But before that fight that came in, I mean, the flyweight division it became like so disaster. But in my opinion, right
Alex in the
now,
house. What's up, Alex? Shout out to
yeah,
Alex too.
yeah. But in my opinion, right now, because Steve Ursa deserved that title right now for the flyweight. I mean, this is not like it wasn't like a robbery. It's just like a 3-2 either that way because the scores are good choices. But it's been crazy because the judges didn't know about proper scoring. Unfortunately, it happens everywhere, and not just like in Brazil. But I really think that because they show up with a lot of lows to arguably won the title on damage because they just put the war on notice. But I gotta tell you this one between the fight between Alessandro Pantoja versus Steve Ursa, it was just like a robbery. But I think Steve Ursa deserved more than the title than Pantoja. So let's give it with my co-host Science saying it. Is this going to be like a robbery or Steve Ursa deserve more the title of the flyweight division?
Yeah, I mean, like that was a nuts one. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely Brazil judges. Absolutely are dirty. I mean, like, how do I say this? They are dirty. I mean, like they are gonna give. That's Will's channel. If you guys want to go check him out, he covers UFC as well. If you guys want
There you
all
go.
good combat sports knowledge after every event, and like I said, also let it. If y'all, if you don't mind dropping Alex's channel as well. If you guys want good
Yes.
football breakdowns, mostly a Giants fan, but also covers the NFL, y'all go check him out too. And in basketball, and I think I correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, but I believe he dabbles in the baseball at times too. But if I'm wrong, I apologize. But getting back to the main event of 301, um, I was a fan. I was a fan of Steve ever since he came in. He appeared out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, this guy is literally, you know, fighting for a championship in 3 fights into the UFC with even not even facing top 5 opponents, only beating one top 10 opponent, haven't even been in the UFC for over a full year, and then comes and faces the champion because lack of competition in the division. Champion took out the whole division in Pantoja and now calls out Steve, being that Steve was in prime opportunity coming off of his big win over his last fighter. That being said, though, I don't think Steve was ready. Steve went out there and he balled and he showed that he could hang with the champion, but I don't think he was ready for that moment. I honestly had Patosha winning. I had Steve win in 2 rounds. I had Patosha winning 3, but I just kind of wish that the UFC. I mean, like I get it. He needed the experience, and he is going to be a future champion one day. I do really believe that Pantoja will be a future champion one day. But I honestly believe that not Pantoja, sorry, Steve. I honestly believe that it was just too he needed to fight. He needed to fight at least 2 more times before getting that title shot. And they kind of rushed him to a championship, but yeah.
Oh yeah. They just say they had an amateur doctor from my boy Jack Shore fight. He stopped with a fight because of the shin cut. Come on.
Yeah, but I would say I would say to that, Bills, he stuck his finger in his leg, pause. Like he fingered his leg, pause. It was I don't know. From that angle, I had to look away. I totally understand, but I just think I'll leave it up since we're talking about it. I just think one more kick, and I don't know. He didn't want to see a bone pop out. That's what I was concerned about, a bone popping out next. I think the camera angle totally made it look much more less severe than it was. But even at that, like you see, like we've seen fighters go in there and actually fight with even worse cuts on their dome. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, that was kind of a bullshit stoppage. I know if people had money on that, they'll be kind of mad. You know what I'm saying? That's Alex's channel. If you guys want to go check it out. One fighter I was really amazed at, guys, that I do want to point out. Let me see if I can find him. But before we get into the undercard, because before I find him, I do want to say fuck Anthony Smith. He messed up my whole DraftKings. Like literally, I was in a money pool and everything. All he had to do was lose. That's all he had to do. Like I would have won money, but Anthony Smith just comes out of nowhere and just pulls off a guillotine on the Prodigy. I mean, like Vitor was looking good up until he got lazy and this is about the knee now that shin mate. I feel that. I understand where you're coming out with that. And yes, it was on the shin and he wanted to fight. That's the thing. He wanted to fight, and we're not doctors, but we've seen worse. We've seen fighters fight. Like speaking of Anthony Smith, y'all remember that fight with Anthony Smith? I forget who was fighting, but they were just kicking his ass, bro, and he was like dying, but he wasn't going out. He was dead in the octagon. Like he's knocked down on his feet, but they're still punching in, and the corner doesn't even want to throw in the towel. But I'm all over the place right now. Let me bring it back. I will say this though. Vitor's gonna learn from this loss. He's gonna learn that you can't get aggressive no matter how good you are, because there's better people out there. And when you face a like I know I was ruling him out. I'm not gonna say I wasn't. When you face a competitor like Anthony Smith that has over 56 fights in his career, I mean, like you gotta really keep your guard up at all times. You know what I'm saying? That being said, I do want to get your guys' opinion on this new landscape. I know we said it at the top of the show, but we got more people watching right now. What do you guys think about it? It's more for it's not. We're just trying something out. I know for people on mobile, they probably really like it, but I'm gonna turn it back over to Rafael before we let him talk about a few other fights before we get into the undercard.
Yeah,
Any fight on the main card that you really wanted to talk about outside of the Anthony Smith?
Yeah, because I'm talking for like Cypher, because there's like the two topics that I was worried about that much. Because first, what you mentioned about for Anthony Smith, I mean, that was like completely shocking and all. Even that I was doing the watch party of UFC 301 in Rio de Janeiro, and I was completely shocked that I was like, this is some kind of BS bullshit. But I gotta tell you, what I just saw for Anthony Smith, now we see like the weakness. He's like an offensive grappling. Doesn't mean he has one thing. He showed up on that fight because he was liking something, because it's not very good enough to defensive to get fight to the back where he was like very comfortable. But who the hell is going to happen with actually listening to about it? So it's just like more than a Smith, a shit, because imagine that he can keep that away for this. But after we just saw it, because who doesn't have it like really in that game right now? And in some point before, he just mastered like the opera appearing as a sore loser. It's truly like a shame, because judging about for this fight, I mean, he could be like a fan favorite, but you can say like the same argument because they have very good things. Because I know that exactly, because they're gonna show him for the time for winning, knocking everybody out. I mean, can you believe how bad is right here? Because if you're gonna win and knock everybody out, expand your fucking skill set for the lovely God, Anthony Smith. Because even though that you put a lot of heart, but it doesn't sound like because you just put heart a lot of it. Show aggression because that's what the MMA fighters they wanted to do. Fight and of course be aggressive all the time, 100%. If it's blood, better. Man.
Yeah, Anthony Smith definitely broke the script and
Yeah, he
definitely
just broke his
fair play, fair play, fair play to him. I want to talk about one shot. Can we talk about Mauricio Ruffy for a second and how good is this guy?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He comes in, looking better than ever, man. He has 10, I believe he has 10 wins all by KO, if I'm right. 10 wins all by knockout, and he just does it again against Jamie. I know Jamie, he's not really a game opponent, kind of on the back half of his career, but man, Mauricio just comes in and just, oh my god, that was beautiful to watch. And I was gonna say, like, Brazil, you guys have a lot of up and comers right now. And even though Vitor just lost Anthony Smith, he's gonna learn from that mistake. He's gonna come back better than ever. Mauricio is so Ruffy is so new. Like, he's so new that it's kind of like he's fresh. He's fresh, and his movement and his angles that he punches with it's really high level. His fight IQ, you can see as a young fighter, only with 10 fights in his career, you can clearly see that he is clearly looking great. Obviously we can't hype it up too fast. Jamie Maloiki is something that someone is like, yeah, you're not going to get excited by knocking out Jamie Maloiki. Nothing against Jamie Maloiki, but you're not going to get too excited. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to get
that's
Jamie Maloiki
exactly.
out in the first round. Well, guess what, guys? He passed the test. So now, what we want to see him go against next? You know what I'm saying? I want to see him work his way up, and then eventually, I could see him fighting top 15 opponents in the next year or so. He beats people like I know that's not really a major name, but in Torres, let me pull up his first name. I think it's Monos Torres. I mean, like, this guy is obviously, nobody too special. You know what I'm saying? But he been around in a long time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his amateur, not even his amateur fights. I would say his fights before the UFC. I would say at least his last two is not really game opponents, not really nowhere near the top 100 in the division of any of organization, but game opponents, and he's passing every test. And that's why I want to say that. You go out there and you knock a guy out in the second round that has a professional record of 41-8. You know what I'm saying? You go on the Contender Series and you face a game opponent and beat him, and then you go and you pass your test in your UFC debut against Jamie. So keep a name out for Ruffy. Keep eye out for him. Not a name. Keep an eye out for him. I think he is going to be someone that we can look at down the road and be like, yeah, this kid's good. He's really showing high level striking at a young age in his MMA career. He's only 27, man, and he's only getting better. Go right ahead, Rafael.
Yeah, I know because right now there's like a lot of Brazilian fighters who became like the best of the best. And I've been told because Brazil not only they just got soccer, also they just got women's food, but also they just got the best of the best. And I've been told for this one because they never stop. Because right now they have ultimate power in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, capoeira. Because I mean, because right now it seems like we have a great breakdown to see the rookies and the veterans. So I am very glad to see it because what are the two main card fights that I just saw it because that was just like man, that was just like two knockouts in a row. They just got summation, but I just wanted to tell it about it because it became like a very impressive and they swept the performance of the record because right now they see because Michel Pereira, Caro Bolario, Mauricio Ruffi, Alessandro, I mean all of these fighters became like something that I was getting into it. I mean he was just like you can argue about Ruffi had the most impressive performance of the night. Drawing like at the comparisons between the Conor McGregor with the precision, striking, fighting, stance. Also, he just made like a quick work with a variety of strikes that makes wondering how long are they going to take the promising Brazilian was ranked of lightweight. I mean, you can never about it. But I think the fight between Paul Craig versus Bellario, it was just like the fight of the nerds, but only very different because the submission progress of Craig was very careful not to be lowered. But Bellario just called out Joey Carnier after the grab, and I mean it just like made marketable. And of course, Alessandro Costa looks very strong and explosive throughout the fight, considering he was competitive against the UFC 301 title challenger in a previous, but he was establishing himself to be like the force record for the men's flyweight division. And of course, with Pereira, Michel Pereira, he's one of the most dynamics. And if he didn't want to like to call off an opponent, he just left in general. Sticking to the usual form despite for the 8-fight win streak, he seems like a more conservative, putting like entertainment performance than chilling like a talent. But the show was a stacked toolbox of weapons. We're at the beginning to hunt where he could be like a challenge for a title like 180 pounds if he wants to. Because in front of the sports that you all portray, the first one with the strength of the most diverse of the wild sequence that I will see with this year, they say, come here, come here, come here. And then boom. And I've been told about myself because those Brazilians, they just got enough power, great grappling, and didn't lay the country going out for the down for the Rio de Janeiro because they just went like at a very impressive. I mean, they just went like at impressive. That's all right. They just got 10 wins and 3 losses. I mean, that's right. But you can never be because they just brought a lot of great entertainment, a lot of great fight show, and then boom, there you go, lights out.
Absolutely. And I do want to touch on, before we get into the King of Rio and a performance that he had, I do want to touch on Will's and to Will's question. What is your guys' most anticipated fight this weekend? Well, how do we not go with Rebellis? I mean, like, this guy just been on a tear, man. His fight time is, I believe, less than a minute. Just let's pull up his record, okay? I get it, guys. Only one fight in the UFC, but let's put up the stamps type.
All right,
Timestamps,
there you
okay?
go.
Fight number 1, okay. First round knockout, but 4 minutes and 54 seconds. And then after that, TKO first round 12 seconds, TKO first round 3 seconds, TKO first round 4 seconds, TKO first round 18 seconds. I'm sorry, TKO in for against Miles Banks. He had a knockout punch. Against Josh, he had a TKO in 18 seconds. This guy is damn Olympian, guys. He's an Olympian in Taekwondo. Robellis is a fucking beast, bro. And that's the fight I'm most excited to see because I know he's gonna go in there and I know the fight's gonna be less than a minute. And I'm not trying to count out Cortez, but at the end of the day, man, Robellis, I just want to see him fighting good opponents because this guy is an Olympian Taekwondo and this guy is game, bro. This guy is really game. You can see it. You can already see it, and that's probably the fight I'm most excited for. And then obviously, you know, you got the Black Beast. You know what I'm saying? You always have to be excited for the Black Beast when he fights.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
They say Rebel is a team versus Waldo Cortez Acosta is a good one. The one
what
that
about
I got
yourself,
in my eye on. Yeah, but there's one fight that I really want to like.
What is yours, Bills? And chat if
I mean,
you guys want to.
I got 2 fights. Yeah, I got 2 fights that I'm going to put my eye on. Because first one is between Sean Woodson versus Alex Caceres. It's going to be like a tricky one. He has improved a lot of things that I never believed that is going to make it too far. He was just like a contestant on the reality show, The Ultimate Fighter 12, which Sean Wood's career has an up and downs, but he just like a prospect to look at it back in the day as everyone's James Cross. But unfortunately, there's going to be like a bond between 2 guys that have been both hot and cold in different stages of a career. But also, I just wanted to see because there's going to be more the reverse and Arthur the fighter for the more able to more minutes against Bruce Lero. But I don't have because this is kind of like a very confidence is one it all. But I understand why Woodson is not going to be the favorite. But given like the streaky style and frame, the fact he's like a bit younger. The book's going to be in line for the 130 using that price here is line for appearing in price. And I'm not very sure it's going to have a stronger opinion for that really. But it's going to be very interesting. So I would like to say Sean Woodson, 3rd round knockout. Also, there's another one.
Alex is a veteran too, huh? Yeah, did you realize that Terrence McKinley's on this card and Chase Hooper, the one-time youngest fighter in the UFC? Chase Hooper's on this card. Haven't seen that kid fight in a
Mm,
while, man. This is gonna be a good card from top to bottom. But I interrupted you. You was about to say something.
yeah, but it seems for the commenters say Dominican Republic versus Cuba. I would love to see that right now
Mhm.
because I know because all the Latino fighters they just brought like the best of the best, but you have to be careful about it because I know it's gonna be so much important because do it for the strength, also for the grappling, striking. I mean, what can I tell it about it? Because this
Does
one is
look like
gonna be
10.
so much important. Also, we just gotta like because there's Waldo
Alonzo
Cortez
is on
Acosta
this card.
versus
Men's,
Robbie
wow.
Pain. I mean, that could be like so much interesting because right now, debut of Robbie Spain is gonna be short lived but very impressive. But that stuff is not like a very much at all. But he's like a very conventional combat sports athlete, which is something. But a lot of people invented the Spain MMA record highlight this experience. But I think we're going to consider that why the and tools is going to be actually needed here. But I think that Cortez Acosta will have anything they're interested in about taking takedowns, also grappling. But I'm surprised that he's only around 117 here. But I think it's gonna be like at a clear angle to a base opponent to capitalize the skill set to get a more career size striker that will be well to dealing about it. So I think that this has got the job done, but Lin is gonna be weaponized at all of the experience that Well probably don't. But I will say this: Rebel's the page to win second round submission against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Second round submission.
Submission. I love that prediction. Well,
Yep.
let's get back to and probably the last fight that we're gonna be talking about before we move on to our other subject before we end tonight.
Yep.
Shorter episode tonight, gang. But we have the King of Rio now. This is another MO. There's another mofo that basically messed up my second leg because my first one messed up on Anthony. Then I'm like, all right, it's okay. I still got Anthony Smith. I mean, I still got Jonathan. I still got Jonathan. You know, I didn't know that.
Oh man, they say
Definitely
Waldo
didn't know that.
Cortez Acosta. He just used to play baseball. He definitely threw punches like he's pitching for the Yankees. Good. I didn't know about that because the more you know, I mean,
Are you a Yankees?
because,
Are you a Yankees fan?
yeah, because look at the hair right now. I mean, to the Yankees
Absolutely.
fan, but I know this is gonna be like a so realistic, but I didn't know the idea that because he was used to play baseball, he had a great sensitive about for his arm and also for the technique. Also, Latino who play like at the baseball, they have a great arm, great technique, and nobody can. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So you got Jonathan Martinez, and he's on a in 6 fight win streak. Undefeated in 2021, 2022, 2023, and looking prime. And then he flies
huh?
to Brazil, and then I honestly like. I want to hear your thoughts on it. But the King of Rio,
Uh-huh.
obviously, I have to go back and rewatch the fight. But Jose Aldo, regardless of the judges or whatever the fact, he goes out there and he wins the fight. And you know what I'm saying? The leg kicks, he didn't throw as much. Obviously, he's not that young vintage Jose Aldo, but
Yeah.
he did come out game. He did come out game. He did come out there and he took it to Jonathan and he won by unanimous decision. And that being said, bro, the judges was off. Not off, but the judges is kind of like question mark, question mark, question mark. How much did they pay you? Some of the night, but I would honestly say that Jose Aldo he did beat Jonathan. He did beat him, and I want to hear your thoughts on it though. Like I just
Yeah.
didn't expect that. I did not expect that. No disrespect against Jose, but I just didn't expect it. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, between for Aldo versus Jonathan Martinez, right now he's ranked
That's crazy.
again after for that win. I mean, that was very impressive because I know because of Sunday because this is like a a perfect moment to get involved with a lot of things. But I will say this because it's funny they just let Aldo bought Stephens because they wanted to something to do about for another fighters. Because I just really thought that There's like a plenty of fighters who explicitly they have to say they don't like fighting, and Aldo just like a true veteran is still very good despite being 37. I would give like it a good shot for here, but it just see like he might be just like it out of the courtesy, not for the relationship, but also he's on the last fight, but he hasn't assigned one contract yet. Because we will imagine if they haven't done yet, if they're not going to attend for the stay for the UFC. I mean, it's one of those last persons who should question about for motivation. Whenever when the people thought that he couldn't make it 103.5, now he's back. He weighs like a pro. I mean, he has one fight left on the contract, but I don't think it's gonna be like this last dance because he's wanted to still to prove it about it. Because I know that he still got a lot of this game, but I think it's gonna be like a really excited because it's gonna be back and fighting against for the prospect. This is like the master class of being like the rookie versus veteran. But I know at this point because I just really thought that the energy, because the energy and the grappling style, it could make like a, something like very bigger at all. But I think it's gonna be like a really good nets. Some fighters, it's got a pretty job right now. It's gonna be like a thought break, but he's gonna making like something that I just wanted to tell about it. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of the nets, but I really think that it's not gonna be his last chance because the last chance is gonna be like a taking for like another month, another year. But I think it still got it because after the day we just saw against for Jonathan Martinez and then Conor McGregor, I mean, they still got a lot of things to do because I know he's still training a lot. It's gonna be like a tense face off, but man, I really thought it because right now it's gonna be like all that these old guys that are being look at it later post to start up, but also has been professional too. But I think it's gonna be really motivated and then let's see what happened. But I think because he won't decimate at any point for those careers, but I think that the king is coming back right now. But he has some very nasty kicks in the game, but I hope it's gonna be really thought. But I think that the last couple of fights for Jose Aldo is not gonna be over yet because
So you're saying that 37 years old. I mean, like he is boxing, but at
yeah,
37 years, he just fought. He just fought his last contract on the
yeah,
UFC. Do you see him coming back and making a one? He doesn't two more fights and he's fighting for a champ. Two fights, two
yeah.
two fights. He's fighting for a championship. He just beat a up and comer that was ready to fight for. A lot of people were saying Jonathan's on the rise. Jonathan's gonna be fighting for a championship soon. Well, he just beat him. Okay, the only person he didn't beat in the last couple of fights was Moab, and look where Moab is, number one contender, ready to fight for a championship. So you're saying maybe he signs a 2-3 fight contract, come back, be one more. I mean, like 37 years old. Look who what didn't Glover win it at 41. So anything's possible. I would love to see that, man. He looked pretty good out there.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a really interesting. But I really thought it because right now it's getting like very potential fights to getting over yet. But I think that the only reason that I just wanted to look at it because he still got a lot to do over the fight, despite for the age. But I know it's gonna be initially as it going through for anything because right now because he just returned for a 2 year break. And I know the impact is gonna be so realistic right now, but it's not gonna be like the same issue because he's gonna be like really dominate. They're gonna be like it's not gonna like the side factor off of the fights. But I think that they just had to see like the combination work for those legs and about for these like the grappling style because it just really happened whether it goes to like Jose Aldo versus McGregor. I mean, it's gonna be like at a last, but he wants to be like a lot of more. So I really thought it because people think it's gonna be like the last dance, but I really thought it's gonna be like another journey for him. I know there's gonna be like taking him for another months or another years, but I think it's gonna be like a something that I was getting involved for this. But yes, I
This is the
really
last thing
really
I'll say on Jose Aldo. I would say he definitely does have the tools. He has the
Yeah.
muscle memory. I mean, like no one has to teach this guy how to fight. He knows how to fight. Yeah, you learn something new every day. But when you get to Jose's level, I mean, like this guy is experienced to high levels. I mean, like he's obviously there's always gonna be like ninth degree black belts and always gonna be improvement. But basically, what I'm trying to say is the only thing that's really stopping him is father time. So if he's 37 and he's looking that good, well, good in the octagon, then why not? Why not give it another shot? And thank you so much, James, for joining us this evening. Go right back to you, Rafael.
Yeah. Thanks for James and of course
Robert
Robert
in the
Bennett
house
in
as
the
well. Let's
building.
get it.
Yes. Yeah, but I really think because right now there's something that I was getting involved for this because I know he returned, but I know this is not gonna be like the last one. But I gotta tell you because right now it is gonna be like a super realistic. But right now, let's just move in on because remember the last podcast that we're talking about for streaming, and
Sure.
of course for the Premier League, and of course for the pay per view. And I know this is gonna be like so very interesting right now, but it really thought because I just saw right now because there's like a very rumors right now because right now for the next year I mean, there's going to be a lot of big happy because the blockbuster program between UFC and ESPN they just inked back in 2018 when Fox just low black the promotion. It was about to the set to expire in early 2025. I mean, there can be like competitive networks and digital streamers will have soon the rapid opportunity to make a play for the most valuable combat sports promotion because after that, right now the WWE is not gonna be the new home for Netflix, and right now the premium live events is gonna be happening in some point right now. But I gotta tell you one more time right now, because they just look at the premium sports product with great growth ahead of it. Because they feel like the potential package with the end and out for live sports is all strengthened for supplies premium sports content. Because it's not like a volume product, but it's just like a premium. Someone like that they use it for before Thursday night football, Sunday, Monday nights. But I gotta tell you, more premium live events and less pay-per-views between UFC and boxing because who wants to pay like a more than $50 to pay like a pay-per-view? Because right now the future is gonna happen with the premium live events. And I'm gonna tell you, because the potential package with ending up for a live sports is gonna be up to that level. Because when it comes to the subscriber acquisition tool, like at the very antidote, because they're gonna be like attractive, both digital and linear. There's gonna be like the potential package that ending up for anything.
I mean, like, yeah, we talked about it last episode, and to add on that, I will want to say that is what you want to do. You know, Netflix is getting into sports, and Netflix is in 250 million households. If you really think about it, how much people order a UFC event and then invite all their friends. Hey, just buy some food. You know what I'm saying? Bring food, or either buy food at $5 at the door, and they make it into a whole event. You know what I'm saying? Now there's 20 people in the household watching one fight that costs $80 on the TV. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Next
Yeah.
month you got to do it again, and you know even that. It's Dana White's job is to keep you in on Saturdays, right? So now you want to go. Maybe younger people want to go to the club, or maybe you want to go hang out, or maybe you want to take your lady on a date, or maybe you want to go out
At the
on
bar,
Saturday
yeah.
night. You know what I'm saying? But now, well, you're locked in. You want to watch a UFC event, but not only that. Imagine this: those 20 people, I would say 15 of them have Netflix accounts, and the most basic membership of Netflix is $15.99. So that's $16. Now, what is 16 times 15? You don't have to do the math, but that's way more than 80. That's way more than 80. So that being said, I think by having a way where we can get premium live events, I know WWE will probably do it first, but TKO is a brand. So if WWE goes over there with Monday Night War, goes over there eventually, ends their contract with Peacock, gets the WWE pay-per-views and the WWE content on Netflix. Now the IP of WWE is fully its own category on Netflix. That's huge for Netflix. That's a win for Netflix. That's a bag for Netflix, but that's also a bag for the WWE. And then when you get TKO's looking at it like, okay, let's get our other half of the business. Now you got deals that ESPN coming up, Disney. Disney wants to maybe bite the table. Apple TV is getting into soccer, getting into MLB. They already got games going on over there. HBO Max, they already got NBA games going on over there. So every other streaming service is just trying to compete for live sports at the moment, right? But there's only one big monster out of all of them, the originator, which is Netflix, the killer of Blockbuster. Some will say they didn't kill Blockbuster. I beg to differ. They killed Blockbuster. That being said, don't you guys miss Blockbuster? I fucking love Blockbuster. But that being said, guys, Netflix, if they can strike a deal with WWE, I guarantee you in about, I don't know, because at the end of this year, I believe, is when the contract is up with Disney. So they have to renegotiate. So getting back to that, it's like Apple TV is going to come. HBO Max might come at. You know what I'm saying? Luna TV is probably not going to come, but pause. But if they want to get into the bidding war, Luna TV is going to get into the bidding war. But I think Netflix is the king right now to get in, grab the UFC content, establish a partnership with the UFC, like Joe Rogan and Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like $250 million to just have your podcast on Spotify. You can go be on YouTube now, but we'll give you even $250 million just to be on Spotify. You know what I'm saying? So that's how big the UFC can be. You know what I'm saying? Like strike a deal with a king like Netflix. You know what I'm saying? And if you really think about it, man, Netflix they give out money. They're like Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like Amazon, you guys know how Amazon got beat. You go watch a documentary on Amazon. But who cares about Amazon? What I was trying to say to bring up Amazon is the reason why they was able to kill it off everybody is because of the fact that they're able to make their prices so cheap that nobody could compete with them, and then eventually they're gonna recoup it later. So yeah, they might have like 10 years of bankruptcy, but eventually they're gonna recoup it later, right? So like Netflix, they're like fucking most of their existence there was bankrupt, in the billions. You know what I'm saying? But they're always gonna find a way to recuperate it, and that's just how it works. So they have a system that works. You go in there, you buy an IP like a UFC, and that's a huge category to add to Netflix. They're getting into this boxing with Logan Paul and Tyson. I think that's a win for them. They just had, I never watched it yet, but they just had the roast of Tom Brady live on Netflix. That's a win to them. They're getting into more live content, and eventually you will see combat sports being more active and being more live, and not only combat sports as a whole in period. You know what I'm saying? There'll come a day where most of our sports will always be free, but most of our sports will be available on any streaming platform, and it is already kind of becoming that as we move on to a more technical age where everything is more like on demand rather than waiting for a certain time to watch your favorite program. And we honestly been living in that digital age for the last 5 years. Yeah, cutting the cord. A lot of people's cutting the cord. Go right ahead, Rafael.
Yeah, I think you're right, because if you see like the premier live events, that could be like it is something important, because we just talked about, because right now you just brought like a great opinion right now. It's one of those best way to watch like the premium live event, because it doesn't make a little confusing at all, because it's like a not televised event. But I think because right now, taking it for example, right now for the WWE, they just got WrestleMania, Survivor Series. Also, they just got Royal Rumble, SummerSlam. What it has it, because right now, because it doesn't have to get confused at all, because it's gonna be extra special. But I think because right now, because it's totally like the name of pay-per-view is completely recreated. But frankly,
so it sounds old, huh? It sounds like a fucking CD.
Old. Exactly.
You see, pay-per-view, it sounds like a CD. Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Stream your fucking music. Get on Spotify. You know, I honestly probably still have CDs in the closet, but I'm not trying to diss CDs. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think of it like this too. Like, you not you got to, but this is the way I'm looking at it. Like $15.99 for basic. I believe like up to 4K on all your different devices. I believe is now like up to like 22 or 23. Correct me if I'm wrong. Might be 25. But now just add another category. Just add another category and just say premium live events. Make that be $30, $29.99. And people be like, what the fuck? $29.99 a month? I ain't gonna pay that. A month comes on and there's no, you don't want to watch UFC fucking 350, UFC 350. You're not feeling it. Don't buy UFC 350. Just level down your membership, and maybe UFC 351 you want to watch. WrestleMania fucking 60 you want to watch. Then go right ahead and then up your membership. So I believe that it'll be hard to kill pay-per-view because of the fact that WWE have a proven product, and that's why I mentioned in UFC, because they're the same company. Now, if UFC and the WWE wasn't the same company, I wouldn't see the UFC doing this, because pay-per-view, it's hard to tell. Like, they make a lot of money off of pay-per-views, and fighters make a lot of money off of pay-per-view points. So it's kind of like, it's hard to tell a fighter, I hard to tell Dana White, like, yo, $80 million a buy, and then especially when you off-sell it to like to bars and movie theaters, you're charging them way more than 80, right? So the question is, how would that be in a controlled state to make it fair on all the parties? And I think to make it fair on all the parties, there have to be another membership added, whether it be a $30 membership, a $35 membership. And I know that is a lot, guys. That is a lot of money. But like I said, I mean, like, if you really look at it, like, people go pay for like HBO, and then they got their Peacock, and then they got their Hulu, and then they got their Netflix. That right there alone is like $80 fucking. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it is going to be interesting to see in the next couple of years on how Luna TV actually just gets killed, and actually more and more people just lean on other platforms to get their knowledge out there. And obviously the news will always be on regular television, and all these programs that seems to never end is going to be on regular television. But outside of that, I think a lot of the times you see, like, look what podcast did for the industry. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Adrian? Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Salute. And I gotta tell you for this one, because I know there's like a lot of history, because whenever we just grow up and born out for the 90s, and we have like a few dollars to pay like at a cable TV, and we just see like all the shows right now, and HBO got the broadcasting rights for everything for boxing. Now teams are changing right now, because we're just involved for the digital era, and right now paying pay-per-view for like $50 for UFC and boxing, it doesn't make work it, because right now the future is upon us. Fall for the digital streaming service. And I gotta tell you, because right now we're not living on the past right now. We had to involve a lot of the future, because I gotta tell you, if they want to work about for the money, about for the premium live events, please, UFC, take a note for the WWE, because look what they've done. Because right now they just cried the Peacock and all these premium live events for WrestleMania. Please, ESPN, do a favor and make not pay-per-view, but premium live events for like only for the subscribers, so they can really watch it. Because is it worth it to pay like a $50 for pay-per-view event? I don't think so, because right now it's for the past. Right now, the only we care about is the premium live events. UFC is gonna shake it a little things right now, but they had to listen about for the pay-per-view, like the name on it is gonna get it too old. Right now, the premium live event is gonna be like the really future. Right? We need it.
It is definitely a PLE future.
Yes, it's gonna be like a great future. Yeah, but I really thought it, because right now it is up to us. Because right now it just seems like the streaming service. Look what they've done for the NFL and YouTube. They just got like the Red Zone also for the soccer, because I just pay like the subscriptions like monthly. I mean, I just got Apple TV, and I just want to watch the baseball and soccer, and it doesn't have a problem, because the only problem, because I don't want it to pay like a pay-per-view, so I just wanted to tell about, because right now the internet it's kind of like not very quietly right now, but sometimes it's getting buffering. But I gotta tell you, please do not pay those pay-per-view, because right now it really costs you much money. Because if you wanted to play like watch it anything like a pay-per-view, if you had money, go for it. But for us right now, we don't have to like the privilege to pay like the pay-per-view. So there's like another fight sort of coming out there because there's like the fight night on St. Louis, which is one of the greatest one, and I would love to do it. And like Will says, don't sleep on fight night events. I mean, what can I have about it? So yes.
Yeah, I mean, like you said it perfectly. Premium live events, I think, is the future, and add on it too. I mean, like look at Peacock, right? Like, I want to see Peacock's numbers, and I'm not trying to diss Peacock, but like think about it. Outside of Yellowstone, maybe the writer that makes all like the Chicago Fire shows and shit like that, Chicago Police and Chicago Fire. I don't know, I don't watch it, but he has his whole category on there. I think the main, like, if you really separate everything on Peacock, I think people put on Peacock they see a movie on Peacock that came out, and maybe they want to get Peacock for the month to stream that movie, or they're a WWE fan. I think if you split Peacock, I think Peacock makes a lot of their money on the WWE universe. I think if you was to split Peacock, I think it'll be more than a 50-50 split. I think the WWE universe will probably be like 60 or 70% of Peacock's audience. I think that's how much. I would love to see the numbers on this, but I really want to see how much the WWE brings to Peacock. Because imagine this, a world where, look at it. An average meal cost is what, like $15 now at like a fast food joint. Just get yourself a meal. Think about it. A world where you don't have to go. You have a boxing match, you have a WWE match, and maybe you have a UFC event all in the same month, and it happens a lot. Maybe you don't have the zone. Maybe you don't want to pay for the zone. Maybe you this boxing match is really good that you want to watch.
Yeah.
You don't want to pay for the pay-per-view because you have another wrestling pay-per-view that you want to pay for, and then you have the UFC pay-per-view coming up at the end of the month. So you don't want to spend over $100 and $200 on pay-per-views. But for $30 or $35, you can get the Netflix, and guess what you get on Netflix? You get all 3 pay-per-views for the month, just for that premium live event added on as an additional membership on top of that 4K. And I think that is the future, because at the end of the day, like you said it, like pay-per-views, it just sounds old. It just sounds like it's in the past. I mean, like if phones cut the aux, If phones cut the aux, I mean, like we got to find a way to get pay-per-views on these streaming platforms. And I think that definitely would be the way to do it. Just up the membership and have a premium live membership subscription. And if you want to go do that, you get all access to all the premium live events. And even if you want to add in like live comedy shows, like really good comedians, maybe like Dave Chappelle has a really good special, even though comedy shows should be free upon your membership. But now Dave Chappelle is going to do a live special that counts as the premium live events. So anything that's premium, anything that's live. You look at Taylor Swift, her tour just dropped on Netflix. I didn't watch it.
Yes.
Maybe you guys want to watch it. Maybe you guys are into that. But what I brought that out is reason being, I don't think none of us is gonna watch it here. Most 98% of our community is man. But that being said, for live concerts, you know what I'm saying? Say homie J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar maybe is gonna have a show. You do a live premium event, maybe they do a live concert. Like look at all the ways now. Live concerts and that is probably gonna come later on down the road. But it starts with getting premium live events on Netflix, and then eventually we'll see where it goes, because the sky's the limit. But we're almost wrapping up here. I'm gonna pass it over to Rafael and let's get it.
All right, so I just wanted to tell you, because that was just like a short episode, but right now for the next
short episode where we go off regular time.
Yeah, I
We
know,
was
but
gonna spend 30 minutes talking about premium live events. That's nuts.
I probably
good.
thought of it because there's one here, but right now for the next episode, we're gonna talk about a lot of more for the UFC, boxing, or wrestling, because this is the Combat Club, and right now we're just gonna made it to the episode number 11, and boy, what can I tell her about it? So I just wanted to tell you, much love to the chat. I see James Purple, Adrian, no Mets, no Nets, no Jets. Also my brother Wells, Tudors in the building. Also Big Blue in the bronze. Also, I just got for much love for this one for the Instagram. Also, I just wanted to say shout out to Mariano Pernas, David, Raider Reyes in the building. How's it going, Gabo? Oscar, one of my college friends. Also for my, I just wanted to tell you, because right now it is the perfect time to see like watching
We had
us.
Ray Love. We had Daniel in the building early. Shout out to all you guys that was here. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tudo, let's get it.
Yeah. But I gotta tell you for this one. But I just wanted to tell you thanks for joining us for this episode number 11 of the Combat Club. So make sure to subscribe to Zenith, and of course, make sure to subscribe to El Capitán Rafucho. On my way to 1K subscribers, and my boy Cyan on his way to 600 subscribers, 700 subscribers. So right now, just gonna keep it right now because this show, the Combat Club, is for MMA fights, wrestling, boxing fans all over the place right now. So we can continue to break it down for these amazing prospect veterans. And of course, we got to show up for the little clips about what happened for the fights, also breaking news, opinion, and hot topics. So this is about for a podcast that we're talking about for combat sports. And we just brought like a great point. So even though we're just doing like a vertical video, so we just experiment. So at the first time, so the next one is gonna be so great. It's gonna be blow up your mind. So we can't be like at a very content right now. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. So it's been like a great episode of the Combat Club, the episode number 11, and stay tuned for the episode number 12. It's gonna be on the next week. So we'll let you know about it. So right now,
sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a lot out of my brain right now. So Science saying it. Thank you very much. And of course, this has been like a great episode of the Combat Club. So let's get it. And of course, I will see you there next time at the next episode and the next week at the Combat Club, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get it. And right now, we're getting out of here.
I got Lord of the Rings. We have like 12 endings. Just end the fucking show.
All right. So there you go. All right. There you go. Go there.